Welcome. So today we are going to be doing a little mobility, flexibility routine for when you've been seated for a long time, whether it's in a car, at work, in meetings, whatever it may be. It's a nice little routine to kind of get you moving, get the upper body moving, get a little bit of stretch to the lower body as well. Okay, so we're going to start at the top with the neck. Now you can do any of these movements seated, standing, whatever you'd like. They're a little easier if you do them seated to start for the upper body. However, you can always do them standing. If you've been sitting for a long time, you just want to stand up and get out of there, you can do these standing as well. Okay, so I'm going to show all these from standing this morning. So we are going to start with neck cars, which cars is short for controlled articular rotation. So we're going around a nice smooth range of motion here. The goal is to go slow, take your time, and avoid any pain. So if we go through a range and you feel a little pinch or a little pain there, you come out of the range and make it just a little bit smaller, okay? The goal isn't to be as big as you can with the range, just to make a nice, smooth, controlled, no pain range. So we're gonna start with the neck car. So with the neck car, we're gonna take our hands for standing, we're gonna put them behind the back and kind of reach down to the ground a little bit, okay? And then with the head, you're gonna pull back just a little bit. See how that's kind of where I was to start. Kind of pull the head back a little bit. Tuck the chin down. Scrape your chin over your collarbone so you're looking over your shoulder. Tilt your ear down like you're trying to drop water out of your ear. Slowly bring your eyes up to the ceiling. Ear to opposite shoulder. Chin to your collarbone. Scrape across your collarbone. Look over your right shoulder. Drop the water out of your right ear. Eyes up to the ceiling. Ear to opposite shoulder. Chin to collarbone, and then we'll repeat for 3 more reps. So we'll keep going. We'll look over the right shoulder, ear down, eyes up, ear to opposite shoulder, chin to collarbone. Nice and slow, 2 more reps. Always look first, look over your shoulder, then tilt the ear down, eyes up, ear down, chin to collarbone. Last one, let's scrape that chin all the way across, over your shoulder, ear down, eyes up, ear down, chin scrapes to center, and we pause, relax for a second. We'll reset and we'll do that again. So we're gonna take the hands, put them behind the back, kind of reach down a little bit, okay? Take the head, pull back a touch, chin to collarbone, look over your left shoulder, ear down if you're spilling water out of it, eyes up to the ceiling, ear to opposite shoulder, chin down, and we scrape all the way across, and repeat for our 5 reps on this side. Remember, it's a slow motion. We want to avoid any pain or pinch points if we have any pain. So if we go this way and we feel, oh, that's painful right there, you just back out of it, and maybe it looks like that, okay? Now number 4, look over, ear down, eyes up. And number 5, over your shoulder, tilt the ear, eyes up, ear to opposite shoulder, and down. Shake that out. And you can do those anywhere, seated, standing. I like to knock a lot of those out just from kind of moving around. They're great, just getting as many times as you can. So even if you're seated and you're maybe on a meeting or something like that, you can always just do those seated while you're listening into what's going on. So it's a nice way to get some movement without having to do a whole lot of stuff there. All right, next up we're gonna do thoracic flexion, which is your upper back here, right? So we're seated for a long time, we're in this position, where as soon as we start to sit for a little bit longer, we start to slouch a little bit more. So this is just to move this upper position a little bit here, okay? So you're gonna stand or seat, but I'm gonna stay standing, my feet about shoulder width apart. A little bit of a glute squeeze here, because we don't want this to turn with us. We're gonna try to just turn up here. So we're gonna squeeze our glutes a little bit so that we don't get our hips to turn with us, okay? So we're gonna take our hands, we're gonna put them just across the chest on the collarbones. And then you're just gonna imagine if you gently just pull yourself into this a little bit. So you get a little bit of a rounding right here in the upper middle portion of your back, okay? So hands on the collarbones, and then gently pull yourself in so you have a little bit of a rounding there. And then you're gonna engage your glutes, just squeeze those glutes, and imagine you got a laser beam right here on the front of your chest. So it's right here attached to your rib cage. You're gonna turn that laser beam to 10 and turn that laser beam to 2. So you're just trying to shoot it that way and shoot it that way. It's a very slow motion. You should feel a little bit of a stretch happening right through here. Go nice and slow, 10 and 2. Notice how my hips are not going anywhere. We're not turning the hips with us. It's all the rib cage moving on its own here, okay? Try to separate those 2 motions out. Squeeze those glutes, Nice and slow, side to side. One last check-in is make sure your head doesn't get looking all the way down here. We want to flex the back, but we don't want the head to pop forward. So we want to be about right here with the head stacked over the shoulders. Okay. Turn that laser beam 10, 2, gentle glute squeeze. Turn, turn. Good. Keep kind of slowly move that laser beam side to side. 6, 5. Don't forget about that glute engagement. 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Let that come down. Awesome. And now we're going to move on to the shoulders. So we're going to take our hands, we're going to put them behind the back. Okay? The further up you go your back, the more difficult this will be. So I always recommend starting just above the hips. And if that feels okay, we start there. We can always move up. And we're not trying to go for super difficult here. We're just trying to go for a little bit of feedback into the shoulders. Okay? So we're going to put our hands just above the hips, squeeze the glutes a little bit, and you're going to gently, imagine there's a little walnut right here in the middle part of your back that we just worked. Take these shoulder blades and try to squeeze that walnut in. So you sort of pull your shoulder blades together a little bit, like you're doing a row, okay? Hands on the low, right above the low back there, and then squeeze the shoulder blades, and then gently take your hands and you're just gonna push them into your back. So you're gently just gonna push in for 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. Engage the glutes, pull your shoulder blades together, and push your hands into your back again. So all I'm doing is pushing this way, just trying to drive into my back nice and gently here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. And let's do that again. Press in. 5. We should feel a little bit of tension start to build up on the front sides of the arms here. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Let's do that again. Press in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. 2 more. 5, 4. Gentle glute squeeze. 3, 2, 1. Last rep. If you feel yourself falling forward, try to put those heels through the ground. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now we're going to take the hands. We're just going to switch them. So if you had your left hand underneath, now you're going to switch. Put your right hand underneath. We're going to do the same thing. 5 repetitions. Pull those shoulder blades together. Gentle engagement of your glutes, and slowly press into your low back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. And press. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. 3 more reps. Engage the glutes. Squeeze those shoulder blades. Press. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more reps. Rest. And press. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And rest. And last rep. Here we go. Gentle glute squeeze. Push into the back nice and easy. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Let those arms come down. Shake that out a little bit. Excellent. Now we're going to focus on one shoulder at a time here. So we're going to start on the right shoulder, okay? We're going to start with it right by the side. We're going to make a gentle little fist. So it's a nice little fist. You're not trying to clench it super hard, but you just make a nice little one like you're holding something soft in there. You don't want it to break it, okay? Hold that fist right by your side. And our attention is going to go right on our bicep here, okay? So what you want to do is we're going to have this fist, we're gently going to push it down to the floor, okay? And then with your focus on your bicep right here, imagine there's a little X right on your bicep. You're going to try to turn your bicep in towards your body, and then turn your bicep out towards your, away from your body. So you try to rotate this in, and you try to rotate it out. Your first inclination will be for this hand just to rotate like that. If your hand turns and this bicep still faces forward, try to focus on turning up here a little bit more, because we want to turn through the actual shoulder joint, not just the wrist, okay? So we're going to push that arm off to the side, create some tension here. It makes it a little bit easier if you're trying to push your arm down and away. X on the front of your bicep, rotate the bicep in, pause, rotate the bicep out, pause. So all we're doing is rotating this in, and then turning it back, rotating it away. So let's go through that nice and easy. If you want to give yourself a gentle glute squeeze here again, you can. Just rotating this out and away. We're starting by the side of the body. However, you can do this in any position that you can kind of think of. You can go out in front here. You can go in the back, which would be a little bit harder, but you can do it from any position close to the body. A little bit higher you go up, the harder it will be. So if you're having a little difficulty, just move a little bit closer to the body, okay? Keep rotating that bicep forward, rotate it back, forward, back. Nice and easy. These are called axial rotations. We're just trying to turn the humerus in the shoulder socket here to get a little bit of rotation, internal and external shoulder rotation. 5, 4, 3, you start to feel tension build up here, but no pain. You should definitely have some tension as you work through these. 2, 1, and rest. Shake that out. And now we're gonna go to the other side. Same thing, make a gentle little fist. Drive that fist to the ground gently as well. And we're gonna turn that bicep in, turn the bicep out. In, out. Excellent, nice and smooth here. Just trying to rotate this in and then turn that bicep out. Remember, there's X right on the front of it. See how my bicep's turning all the way out and turning in? The wrist will turn, but we don't want that to be the leader of the motion, right? Remember, we just don't want it to be flip-flopping down here. We want it to come from as close to the shoulder as we can. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Shake that out. Excellent. So that was our little upper body mobility section. Now we're going to go down to the lower body here. All right, so if we've been seated a lot, we're going to be in this position. So a lot of shortened range through the front of the hips. So we're going to want something to kneel on here. It can be a pillow, it can be a towel. I have a foam pad. It can be anything that's soft that you can roll up a towel or whatever you need. Okay, we're going to start by putting the right knee on the towel or pad or whatever you have, and your left foot forward. Okay, so you're going to put that down. You're going to be just like this. We want to think a stacked position from the crown of our head all the way down to the knees. So we don't want to be leaning forward here or arching our back. We just want to be nice and tall in the stacked position. Your back foot can either be flexed like that, or it can be flat, whatever, or open here, whatever feels better for you, okay? So from this position, this whole section of our right side of our body is gonna move as a unit. We're slowly just gonna shift forward a little bit. See how I kind of move forward, the whole thing as a unit? We're not just driving forward like this. So move this whole forward as a unit. You should start to feel a stretch anywhere between here and here, okay? So as you move forward, you're looking for a stretch anywhere in between here. I have a little more of a stretch right here. Some people might get a little more in their quad, okay? But as long as you start to feel a stretch right here, that's what you want. And we're gonna hold this for 1.5 minutes, okay? So it's 1.5 minutes of a passive stretch. We're trying to get our body used to this position. So we're just gonna hang out right here. You should feel a nice stretch right here. No pain, but you will feel a stretch. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being, oh my gosh, I can't do this any longer. 1 being, I could probably do this for 7 days straight and it's not even a big deal at all. We want this to feel about a 6, maybe a 7. So you want to stretch here. Be comfortable being a little uncomfortable. That's kind of the best way to describe this. So it's not going to feel, oh yeah, this is really great, but it's not going to feel terrible. Like right now I got a pretty good stretch going on right here. If you need more of a stretch, if you're feeling like, oh, I'm pretty mobile, I'm not feeling much of a stretch here, just keep shifting your weight forward until you get a nice big stretch. You keep yourself nice and tall here. It's the further you go forward this way, the more stretch you're going to put on this tissue. The more upright you are, you're kind of cutting back the angle. But if this feels good, you get the stretch here, great. If you're like, I'm not feeling much, slowly shift the whole unit forward until we get a stretch in that front side there. Okay, then you hold that. We have about 25 seconds left in this passive stretch position. And when we hold these passive stretches, we want to hold for at least 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes to give your body a chance to react to what's happening here and get accustomed to being in this position. Because you'll notice when we're here for this 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, you'll start to be like, oh, this isn't as big of a stretch as I thought it was when I started. Your body's getting used to it. Everything's dialing in. The chemistry's changing here. Your body's sending signals back and forth and saying, oh, okay, I can hang out here for a little bit. And that's what we want, because we're trying to induce some change in the tissue here, okay? And then if you're sitting here and we're like, oh, this is feeling pretty good, you can always shift forward a little bit more to get a little deeper into the stretch as we go through the time, okay? So now we're in our position here. We got that nice 1.5 minute passive stretch, okay? So now we're gonna take our right arm, same side as our leg that is down, okay? We're gonna breathe in. On our exhale, you're gonna reach up and to 10 o'clock. So we're inhale, exhale up and reach to 10. Notice how I'm not trying to reach super far. I'm just going to where I feel a nice stretch right through here. So I feel this stretch just a little bit more as I do this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hand comes down. And then we're gonna stay at same right hand, and we're just gonna reach up and over, kind of like a half moon. So you kind of reach up and do a little bit of a drive out with that hip, not very much. You'll feel all this stuff lengthen here. So we'll start here and go 10, 9. Every time you reach, exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. And now, before we do our last reach, we're just gonna assess. Do you still feel a stretch here? Does it feel pretty easy? If you want a little more of a stretch, come forward a little bit. Same right arm, reach across the body, like there's a button right here. You just wanna press that button with each turn, okay? So you just, this position here, you wanna press that button right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And rest. Perfect. And now you're going to stand up from there for a second. Kind of feel that out. Feel what we have on that right side. How does that feel different from the left? You can do little marches in place and feel the difference there. Okay? And now before we go to the left side, we're going to stay standing. Okay? Put your left foot into the ground. Squeeze that glute. If you need to hold on to something, go ahead and grab onto something for a little bit of balance. Put your hand on a wall. We're going to take this right leg. We're slowly going to drive this up to 90 degrees. We're going to hold right there. And squeeze this quad here and try to pull your knee up to the ceiling. So you're holding on to something if you need to, squeezing this left glute, and slowly drive this knee up without arcing forward. Get this leg as high as you can without doing this. So hold on to something there and just keep driving that knee up. Squeeze that left glute. You should start to feel this tissue right here turning on. All the stuff right here. Squeeze that opposite glute. Pull this up to the ceiling while keeping yourself nice and tall. Keep pulling this leg up. Try to squeeze all this out for 5, 4, 3, 2, and let that fall. Excellent. So that was short range hip flexion, so from seated, but now you're actively moving. So I always want an active component to that since we're sitting there for a lot of time not doing much. That was great. Now we're going down to the floor again, please. We're gonna reset our time. And now we're gonna get this passive stretch on the left hip. So right foot forward, left knee down. Remember, you can just shift forward a little bit so you feel that stretch. Once we have the stretch on the front side here, we hold for 1.5 minutes, 1:45 seconds to get this passive stretch, okay? As you're here, breathe in, exhale out nice and easy. Use your breath to control this position. This side might feel different than the other side. Some people's hips feel a little better or worse on either side. One might feel a little more mobile, one might feel a little less, etc. So just feel it out. If you're like, oh, I have more range, you can always shoot forward for more of a stretch. If you're like, oh, this side feels a little bit tighter, feels a little more restricted, you can always ease out of it a little bit. Remember, it's wherever you're feeling it is where we want to work. Doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. You're going to notice when we go through a lot of these mobility and flexibility pieces, your sides are going to be different, whether it's shoulder, hip. So not only do not compare yourself to other people, don't even compare the sides, because you're going to notice differences. If you have an injury on one side and not on the other, there's going to be a mobility difference there. So just make sure you're working in whatever comfortable range you have in that current joint that we're at, okay? Have about 30 seconds here. So right now my stretch kind of went away a little bit. I've kind of worked into it. So I'm just going to shift my hips forward a little bit more. Hold there. Good. Breathe in nice and easy. The front leg, you want it to be about 90 degrees. So if you're looking for where it is in terms of the positioning, you kind of want it to look there and straight down. We don't want it to be too close in, we're going to lose our balance, too far out, and now we're still trying to find our balance. So you should kind of plan it to where we have a 90 degrees, nice solid positioning, everything stacked from the knee to the head again. All right. Make sure we got that stretch position here, and we're gonna go to our reaches. We're gonna take our left arm up and across, okay? And remember to exhale as you reach up and across. Let's start with 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, nice and slow. 9, 10, good. Avoid the sensation or the feeling to rush through them. Go nice and slow. We're trying to get nice big stretches here. Now we're gonna go up and over. So we're gonna go 1, 2. Opposite hand can go wherever you like. You can rest on your leg. If you want to hold on to something, you can do that as well. 5. Drive this hip out a little bit more. 6 for a little more of a stretch. 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. And then our last one, we're reaching across the body. So we're going to reach 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then let yourself shift forward just a little bit more. So just a touch more stretch there. We're going to hold this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and good. All right, we're going to stand up on that side. And now again, hold on to something here with the hand, opposite arm, whatever you like. So make sure we don't arc away. So hold on to something if you need. Drive your hands down. Squeeze the right glute this time. Slowly bring your left knee up to wherever you start to feel all this stuff turn on before we start to arc. So just try to slowly drive this knee up. Drive your right leg into the ground. Hold onto a wall, whatever you may need for a little bit of support. Stay tall and bring this leg up. You want to feel all this tissue right here start to turn on. 10, 9, keep driving this knee up. Squeeze all of this out as much as we can. 6, 5, so feel this burn a little bit, should be uncomfortable. 4, 3, 2, and set that down. Excellent. And shake that out a little bit. Good work. All right, so now we're just gonna do a couple little lateral movements side to side, just get moving through the hips. Everything should feel kind of easy and free flowing right now. So we're gonna go feet together, just take a little lateral step, bend this left knee, and come back up. 1, 2, want to straighten out this inside leg. 3. Nice and easy step here. Try not to overstep, just whatever feels good so you can go in and out with a little bit of a tempo. Good, and let's go to the right side. Excellent, nice work. So we'll conclude our mobility and flexibility for today. And remember to go slow, stay out of any pain points. You can always go through these as many times as you want through the day. Neck cars, the first ones we did, these guys, really great to do wherever you can. You know, if you're seated in a meeting or you just can't really move anywhere, but you are able to move your neck around, you don't have to look at anything, you can do some of those neck cars. Same thing applies for those shoulder axial rotations. You can get those pretty much anywhere, seated, standing, wherever you want to do, right? To check out the full controlled articular rotations videos, you can click on the link up here, and then subscribe to more videos, you can click on the link down here. Thanks so much.